Well, hello there. It's nearly the middle of July and I'm wearing a Santa hat. I'm wearing a Santa hat because it kind of commemorates the season of this film, which I recently picked up. Well, two films actually, a first film and a sequel. The first film I think everybody's heard of. I'm sure they have, and it started the little critter phenomenon in the 80s, and it's the classic film Joe Dante's Gremlins and Gremlins 2, the new batch. Now let's just take a look at Gremlins first, the first one. I've been going a bit mad on Gremlins again a bit recently. Reason because the second one was on TV the other day. I had not seen it in years, and I just thought I'd pick up a few Gremlin games as well on the Game Boy, just for a little mess about. But let's get right on to Gremlins. We're here. Gremlins, what's it about? Well, basically, the Gremlins film, the first film from 1984, produced by Steven Spielberg and Amblin Company, comes about basically when a father picks up a mysterious little creature called a Mogwai from a Chinese guy in an antique store. He takes it home to his son Billy, and he has to abide by 3 rules basically. Don't get them wet, don't feed them after midnight, and don't get them exposed to sunlight, because that will kill him. Now, it wouldn't be much of an adventure fantasy horror film if they didn't ignore the rules. And basically, little Gizmo the Mogwai gets wet and starts multiplying, and he practically duplicates, gives birth out of his back to other little Mogwais. Now, these Mogwais aren't as kind or as nice as Gizmo. They're evil. And when they do eventually start eating after midnight by accident, they turn into what we know as Gremlins. Gremlins is a fun film. It's set at Christmas. It is one of those seasonal films. It has been on every Christmas for a while now, especially recently. And it got replayed in the cinema again in late 2012 for Christmas. Good time to bring it out. Gremlin stars Zach Galligan in one of his first roles, Phoebe Cates, and the music's by Jerry Goldsmith, and Frank Marshall and Kathleen Kennedy also produced this, or executive producers, and Chris Columbus also written this. Dick Miller also stars in this, who was a Roger Corman favourite, and he plays Mr. Fudderman with his wife. And he ends up getting I think it's a forklift or a bulldozer truck run through his house window. It's crazy. Gremlins are crazy, and the Gremlins are a lot more darker in the first one, a lot more evil. They have a tendency to like the film Snow White, and when they get out and start doing their own little mischief, they try to spread and cause more chaos by getting wet. And the Gremlins are led by this one here called Stripe, who I believe was voiced by Frank Welker, who, as you might know, is the voice of the original Megatron and many other cartoon favourites. Howie Mandel does the voice of Gizmo, the Mogwai, the main Mogwai, and he's known for Bobby's World, the cartoon from the 90s. And he's also known on America's Got Talent as one of the judges, the main judge on there. Gremlins is a fun film. spawned loads of merchandise, loads of cuddly toys, loads of miniature figures, and Gremlins is a right fun movie which, you know, should be watched every Christmas. And you can't go wrong with Gremlins. It spawned loads of films like Critters and Ghoulies and other films like that. Very fun film indeed. That was 1984. Moving on to 1990's sequel, Gremlins 2, is a more satirical sequel. It's a bit more lighter. This came out in 1990. I actually saw this at the cinema with my cousin in 1990, 23 years ago. God, time flies, showing me age. And this one takes place in a office building, in a futuristic office building, which is perfect for Gremlins to cause mischief and to basically cause chaos with modern technology. This being like a office building / studio, TV studio. Gizmo's back. He ends up getting accidentally wet again and spawning more goofier looking Gremlins. Some people don't always like this sequel compared to the first one, but I think this film is absolutely hilarious. It sends up the first one. There's loads of jokes in it. There's loads of comical Gremlins in there. And NECA, the toy company, have brought out loads of figures for this from this film in their Gremlin series. You've got like a brain Gremlin who learns how to talk when he drinks a potion. Christopher Lee's in this. Hulk Hogan makes a cameo. Even John Wayne in the other version of it. It's a great film. All of the Gremlins are there. There's like a spider Gremlin. There's a electric Gremlin. There's a really dopey one. There's a bat Gremlin which goes into stop motion and ends up flying out the laboratory window, leaving the Batman symbol, which is really funny. I thought that was really cool, even before like everybody's into Batman these days and like Dark Knight. But I thought that was pretty cool way back then when Warner Brothers did this in Gremlins. These are Warner Brothers films. Dick Miller's back in it with his wife, and he's basically come out of a mental hospital from the first one because of the Gremlins that sent him insane in the first place. And then the second one, the film's introduced by Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck, and that is kind of a blueprint for this film because the Gremlins are like Looney Tune characters. And Frank Welker does the voices again. Harry Mandel's back to do the voices. It's brilliant. It's really funny, and they're a lot more cuter in this one. It also stars again Zach Galligan, Phoebe Cates, John Glover, Robert Prosky, Robert Picardo, Christopher Lee. Jerry Goldsmith does the score again, and Joe Dante comes back to direct. Jerry Goldsmith's scores in both of these films are really good, really memorable, and really do set the mood of these films. And they are both absolutely hilarious, I think. And Gremlins, I just think are awesome films, especially when you pick them back up after all these years and start laughing at them once again. Sadly, on the DVD version, this Gremlins DVD doesn't seem to have many features like a lot of Warner Brothers earlier DVDs don't tend to have. It just says interactive menus, scene access. Doesn't seem like much. Gremlins 2, it took this a while to come out. This only came out like a couple of years ago because it was on Region 1 for a while. And on this you got special features, over 20 minutes of never seen before footage, behind the scenes documentary, feature-length commentary, a gag reel and a trailer. And it's also got deleted scenes in this as well, which never made it into the film, which probably would have made it a much longer film as it is. Gremlins 1 and 2, good cast, good humour, good natured fun for any, maybe not too young kids who should watch, but I think it is fun enough for teens to watch and have a good laugh with, because you will have a laugh. And all those other films like Critters, It Spawned, like ghoulies, etc. Maybe even hobgoblins. Owe a lot to Gremlins. Just show you quickly, I picked up a Game Boy Color game and a Game Boy standard Game Boy game. I never realised how many Game Boy games and video games there was at Gremlins, because it was a franchise and it was a big marketing campaign behind the Gremlins films, and that's why you get plush dolls and everything. Even in Gremlins 2, John Glover even turns around and says, "Do you want I see of you, Mogwai?" Basically, "I see of you, Gizmo." Basically, he sees little gizmos in the back of cars being stuck up against the windows as little toys, basically, which is the irony of it. And I would say Gremlins 2 is a very ironic sequel, a very funny one at that. But Gremlins 1 and 2, both very funny films. First one's a lot darker. This one's more funnier. It was on TV the other day, and they did cut some scenes out of it, like the microwave scene. But just get them on DVD. You can get them both on DVD. Like, I think they're out on Blu-ray as well. I don't think Gremlins 2 is out on Blu-ray, but they are a brilliant pickup, a brilliant buy, and I think everybody's heard of these, and I think everybody should see these. So this is an early Christmas plug, I guess. So Merry Christmas in 5 months' time. But in the meantime, pick up the Gremlins collection. Yeah, we're back. Gremlins. Mogwai. Also, another little bullet point to this video as well is that Warner Brothers are actually thinking about redoing Gremlins or rebooting Gremlins. I wonder how that's going to go. There's going to be a lot of complaints to that because it'll probably be CGI and stuff, but as long as they got it right, I personally wouldn't be too bothered as long as it was funny, because I love Gremlin films anyway. I guess they'd have to try and make it dark again and make the characters give the CGI a lot more life in it. That's what they'd have to do. But that's my brief thoughts on that anyway. But we're going to see if that goes ahead. But it's been rumoured anyway that a new Gremlins film will be on the way. Hope you've enjoyed this review. Thank you very much for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a positive comment. See you later. Goodbye.